Hi, welcome to another episode of Things That Keep Us Up at Night podcast hosted by Kath and
Candy.
where we literally talk about things that keep us up at night. As you can tell from the episode's title, we're talking about a very heavy topic and a more serious topic than we usually do, which is the Asian hate crimes that is going on right now. This is a trigger warning before we start and go on with the topic. If you are sensitive to violence and harassment, please click off this episode and maybe watch our other episodes because we're going to dive into the Asian hate crimes that is going on, and that includes violence and harassment. Okay, so what do you think started this whole Asian hate crime?
Honestly, I feel like this has been happening for so long, but then people just didn't they weren't really aware of it. And I don't know exactly what stems people, what makes people hate Asians so much or
Mm,
try to do violence, but I think it's not just Asians per se, but I think that the increase in Asian violence is happening specifically because we're not really, I guess Asians don't really protect themselves enough, you know what I mean? Like we're not there hasn't been a lot of advocacy. There hasn't been a lot of advocacy and Asian representation, especially in media and pop culture and what we're used to seeing in general. So I think that's one of the reasons why there's a lot of hate against Asian people. Nobody is really familiar with them. I guess that's a reason why, but I don't know why people think that it's okay. You know what I mean?
mm. I mean, I feel like if I'm not mistaken, Mr. If I'm not mistaken, Will Smith actually tweeted this. It's like racism isn't getting worse. It's just being documented now. So if in my opinion, I kind of agree with that, but like people were attacking him for it. So like you can if you look back from like history, you can tell that there's always been racism towards like people of color and stuff. It's such a big topic now because literally it's being documented and being on the internet, right? And so like everyone knows about it. So if like let's take the incident of what's his name, the black man that was he was kneeled on by the police officer.
George Floyd.
Yeah, sorry, George Floyd. Yeah. Let's take George Floyd for example. I swear, if this happened like a few years back before like Instagram, like Facebook, Twitter was such a big deal, I don't think it would have like blown up this much. But like since now that we have like social media and everything, it's everywhere, right? So obviously now everyone's more like aware of it, and obviously now more people are like standing against racism and everything. But more specifically, since we're talking about the Asian hate crimes, I think racism towards Asians and like people of color in general have always just like existed. But I think, in my opinion, like ever since COVID, it's gotten worse. Like I've gotten called like Ching Chong and stuff like that in America and stuff. And obviously I was kind of hurt by that, but I also didn't really understand because I was just like, yeah, okay, I'm Chinese, I'm Asian, so what? And then my dad just kind of explained to me that you're not the majority of the people here aren't Asian. So you're the minority. So obviously they're gonna try like say something about it and stuff. And I'm like, that's stupid. And he's just like, yeah. So the reason why it hasn't really happened to you is because you live in Indonesia, which is obviously a majority Asian country. Majority Asian country. And yeah, so it was just it kind of hurt because I was literally like 8. And yeah, it kind of hurt, but I'm just trying to say like racism has always existed. It's just that because of social media, we're more exposed to it. And ever since COVID, things have gotten worse because they're trying to say like, yeah, COVID is from Wuhan, which is from China. And so every Chinese person has the coronavirus, and you guys brought the coronavirus to all the world. And I'm just like, what the hell? Like, that's just stupid. And honestly speaking, if they're using COVID as an excuse, then you should look at Wuhan now. Like their COVID cases are so low. So if you're trying to say that this is like Chinese people's fault, then look at your own country. Like why do you guys still have like a lot of cases? Probably because you guys are going out a lot. And like if you also look at Switzerland, I think, and Australia, like people already having going back to school and you don't have to use masks anymore unless you're in like public transportation and everything like that. Like that means they did something right. So don't blame COVID-19 on Asians.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, that's exactly what I meant before. I forgot to say, like, I think it's not just like obviously it's not just against Asians, like it's pretty much everyone, like all people of color, you know, they have to face so much racism every day. But like now, you're right, it is being more documented than before. So I think it's difficult to say whether or not it has increased or hasn't increased. But then I do know that Asian hate crimes, specifically in America, have really increased, especially in the larger cities, by I think over like 150% or something. Um, where is that from? I remember reading that from an article. I think it was NBC, the NBC article, or it was. Sorry, I'm trying to find the thing, just so that I make sure that it's not. Okay. So it's from the APA CS University Center for the Study of Hate Crimes like and Extremism. So yeah, it increased. It definitely did increase when it comes to Asians. So yeah. Anyways, there's definitely there's definitely some form of like increase in hate crimes when it comes to large cities in America. I'm not sure about anywhere else in the world, to be honest. I wish that there was more stats about this because I feel like there needs to be more proof and like concrete evidence to show people that this is happening because not a lot of people are aware of it. Even like if this whole issue is being raised by like biggest celebrities and stuff, people still don't care. You know what I mean? Like nobody cares. There's a lot of performative activism on this and stuff like that, which makes me really, really angry. Like I'm actually so mad because this is something that like people have to face, and I get that you're not facing it so you don't understand, but
It's kind of like what happened with the Black Lives Matter thing. Like people started posting like a black screen, and I was just like, what is this gonna do, right? And about like five people tagged me in it, and I was just like, I'm not gonna do it. And then this one girl was just like, why are you not doing it? Like that means you're not against racism. And I'm like, I literally am, but what is this black screen gonna do? And then she's just like, I don't know, just post it. And I was like, okay, fine. And I posted it, right? And then like I still felt bad about it, right? I was just like, what is this black screen gonna do? And then like everyone just like there was this like Instagram post, right, that said why a lot of performative activism is coming up during these times. And then they mentioned the black screen, right? And I was like, yeah, exactly. And all of those people who did the black screen were posting it. And I'm like, you literally did it. The only reason I did it is because like this person basically forced me to do it. Like, are you crazy? And yeah, and then it apparently it happened with the Asian hate crimes as well, which I didn't know. People were posting a screen of a yellow screen, and I just like what is going on? And I saw it on Twitter, right? They're like, wow, we black people and Asian people are going through it. And I was like, and then yeah, but I don't understand what is that blank screen gonna do. And in my opinion, there was this one post which honestly got me so fired up. It was basically saying why not posting about these problems makes you blatantly racist. And I'm like,
Yeah, I saw
huh?
that too.
You saw my rant on it, right?
Yeah.
And then I
Okay,
was just
here's the
like,
thing. I think there's a big difference between, trying to get people to donate and educating others. Whereas, it's much better to not post at all rather than to post something that you don't look into.
exactly, that's
Like,
exactly what I
it,
said.
yeah, exactly. Like it's so good, to raise awareness on these issues. But if you don't educate yourself and you're just spreading misinformation for the sake of it, that's exactly the same as like not doing anything,
No,
And people are
because
blaming others who
yeah.
don't want to, be involved with it. And like me as an Asian person, I can understand like why people don't want to post or anything. Some people are not even like they're not even active on Instagram. You cannot blame someone for not
Mm,
sharing posts, in my opinion. Like I know everyone,
yeah.
like a lot of people would disagree with me, but it's I just think like it's much better not to share anything at all rather than to do it performatively or like to
Me too. Yeah, I agree.
you just share. You
I don't
see
know,
something and
like
oh, it's probably true. So
during the Black Lives Matter movement, like okay, no, I mean like the Black Lives Matter movement is still going on, but like I mean when the whole George Floyd issue came up and like everyone was like talking about it, celebrities were getting canceled for not posting about it, which I found
mm,
stupid. I'm like, okay, so like I get that like maybe a reason why you're kind of not mad or the reason why you're kind of mad about it is because like you might think that they're racist towards black people, right? But then at the same time, you never know because they've never told you like why they don't post about the Black Lives Matter movement.
mm,
It could just be because they're busy with their own stuff, so they haven't been able to read up on it and they just don't want to spread misinformation, or they just don't want to get into that topic because they've like already like donated to like somewhere else and stuff. And that's another issue when someone posts like, oh yeah, I donate, like a celebrity, I'm saying, like they post this much that they donate like this amount to the foundation. They're like, why? Open up your wallet. Like you're rich. Open
yeah.
up your wallet.
Oh my God.
Which is so annoying. And then I'm like, why don't you go donate yourself then if you're gonna do that? And then if they
Yeah.
don't post that they donated, they're gonna be like, oh my god, I'm gonna cancel you. You're so insensitive. Blah 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 blah. I'm like, no
Yeah,
one
exactly.
is
Like,
obligated to donate. It's just out of your heart. Like nobody, you shouldn't force somebody to donate because like
yeah.
if you want to do it sincerely, man. Like why, like it's like kind of like getting peer pressure to donate. Like okay,
Mm.
like I just want to donate for the clout. Like that's stupid.
Like, yeah, I understand where they're coming from. They're like, oh, they should be more generous. And to an extent, I agree. Like, if you have the money, um, it would be nice. It would be nice for you to donate if you're asking other people to donate too. But if you donate like $50, and you're like a rich celebrity who has like what millions of dollars, and you donate 50, that's entirely up to that person. It would be nice if they would give more, but at the same time, you cannot force somebody to do it. And maybe they did donate, but then people are blaming them because they don't share it. If I donate to charities all the time, like my family does that all the time, and I don't go around posting about it. There's nothing wrong with posting about it. It's just I don't post about it. It's not
Mm.
something that I usually like say, oh, I do this, and I do that, and I've given what money to this charity or whatever.
Yeah.
You don't
I
have to share that with the
yeah,
world.
yeah. I don't post whatever I donate to like charities and stuff, but
Yeah.
I do post like my charity work and stuff because like I don't know, makes me happy. And
Yeah, that's
like
completely fine.
and like for me, the reason why I post is because like I just kind of like because I usually tag the foundation, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
if I were to post, right, like I just and someone like for example like they want to do it for like their personal project, or like they just genuinely want to like help out, they can go to my Instagram and like click the location and help out. That's the
Yeah,
reason
that's
why I
nice.
post. But like I don't go like, yeah, I donated this to like so and so charity. Like
Yeah.
I'm not posting it to get praise. I'm
Exactly.
just posting it because I want to, and I just think this is going to be useful soon.
Yeah, like people should have especially celebrities, they should have privacy, And I'm not
Mm,
saying like, like what happened to Kylie Jenner, for example. I'm
yeah.
not a big fan of any of the Kardashians, but then I don't think she deserves to be bashed.
Yeah, we
Because
talked about this.
yeah, we talked about this post that she posted something like go donate to this
Donate. Yeah.
charity. And she seemed very genuine about it. There's nothing wrong with asking people, oh, you should donate to this charity. And everybody was bashing her, saying that she didn't
Yeah.
do it.
No, they
But
were
she
bashing her
felt
like
bad,
they were bashing her
you know?
like why are you telling people to donate when you have your own money, blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I'm just like, okay, how do you know she didn't donate? And like
Mm,
she's probably posting it because she wants more people to donate. So wouldn't it
yeah.
be better for the charity to if they get more money and from different people as well, so that they know like I don't remember what charity it is, but like if it's like to like multiple people, like wouldn't it be like wouldn't it make the person happier that more than like one person cares about them?
Yeah. And like she has the biggest platform or number of following on Instagram. So posting that alone is also like something good.
Mm,
Even if she was doing it performatively, that donation, that charity would have definitely gained a lot of attraction
yeah,
because she posted it.
yeah.
Um, but anyways, yeah, I think one of the reasons why like there's a lot of hatred towards specifically Asian people is because, like I said before, we don't have a lot of we don't like the media doesn't really cover Asian hate. Like we have the whole thing with Black Lives Matter, right? But we don't really have like an Asian Lives Matter, for example, or we never did at first.
Yeah,
And even if
now
we did, it wasn't very like
spoken about.
progressive or
Yeah.
spoken about. And then
Like
I spoke to like a relative of mine, sorry for cutting you.
that's what I was
Um,
saying.
I
But
I spoke to a relative of mine and I about this, and then they said, I think one of the reasons why is because as Asians, we tend to we tend to be really forgiving for like the biggest things, and we don't really raise issues about like these things, but we're starting to step out because it's getting too much. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I feel like the whole thing about Asians being too forgiving, yeah, I get that. I was kind of raised to be like that. I was kind of raised to be like,
Me too.
if
Probably not
someone,
everybody, but
yeah, we're just saying like we were raised like that. But like
yeah.
it's like if someone does something to you, you should be the bigger person and apologize.
Mhm.
If because you're younger and stuff, and like you're not in and you're not always in the right. And then even if they do make the mistake, just say sorry for anything. And then honestly, I never got that. Like if they were the one making the mistake, why would I have to be the one apologizing? But then my mom called me stubborn and she said, no, it's just do it. So yeah,
Do
like
you?
that's the kind of the reason why I feel like we're so like forgiving, because we were taught that like you must respect elders, you must respect everyone, blah blah blah. So like
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
The whole Asian community is really built on respect and
Mm,
like our role in the community, I guess.
mm,
It's not necessarily a bad thing or not necessarily a good thing. It's just that's how it is. That's how stuff has been for a long time. And I think that's one of the reasons why it took people so long to finally realize that Asians were being hated on. I mean, okay, there's a lot of like really blatant racist things against Asians in the
mm,
media though, right?
I
Like for
agree, I agree.
example, in Breakfast at Tiffany's, Mickey Rooney played that character. What's his name? What's his name? Mr. Yoshi.
Yeah, I'm just going. I didn't watch it, so I wouldn't know.
Mr. Yuniyoshi. Mr. Yuniyoshi. If you look him up, oh my God, he is played by Mickey Rooney, who is a white man. And then they put so much makeup on his face to look Asian, and he had very slanted eyes. He had like oversized teeth, and then he kept on being so angry all the time. He was kind of balding, it's very not even stereotypical at this point. It's just an over exaggerated Japanese man in the film who was portrayed by a white man. So it's not even close to what I feel like Asians are like in real life, you know? It's such a bad portrayal of Asian culture and what Asian people are actually like in real life. And this happens so much, including films that we grew up with, right? Like in Mean Girls, for example, there's that girl who kisses all the teachers. What's her name? Like Trang Pak or something. Yeah, and we don't realize that it's something that's racist, but and women in the media is always over sexualized if they're Asians. So it's something that we grew up with, but we don't realize because it's so embedded in our like media and stuff.
Because it was also like it's also very normalized,
Yeah, it's so normalized. If you're Asian, then you probably like get so horny and stuff. There's this film called Full Metal Jacket. It was released in 1987, and two of the characters was sitting on the street, and then a woman passed by and said, "Me so horny, me so horny," and oh, it's so offensive. It's so offensive. It's terrible. It's so bad. I could go on. The list is endless. But
but I don't know, I feel like it's also kind of like with the way we kind of grew up, because it's so like normalized. My mom also kind of thinks that way, so I was also kind of raised that way, but because of my exposure, I can't speak, because of my exposure to liberals and like people of like my teachers who are also Asians, and like there was this one teacher who was black, and like she's like my favorite teacher so far, like by far, and she was basically the person who kind of like educated me about these things, because okay, I'm sorry, as a kid I used to say like gay and lesbian a lot, and like okay, I'm sorry, but like, and then she educated me about it. She's just like, no, you shouldn't say that all the time. Like, yes, you probably know the meaning of that, but like, yeah, I didn't call anyone that. It's just like, I said it a
yeah,
lot.
and I know what you mean.
And then,
Like,
yeah, and then she kind of like taught me more about racism and stuff. But by what I mean, like, I grew up with it. I would talk about things with my mom, and I would be like furious, man. And then like she would just like stay there and be quiet. I'm like, why are you being quiet about it? She's like, and she just says, yeah, I mean, I get it. I'm like, why? It's just like, we're Asian, especially we're Indonesian Chinese. Like, what do you expect?
yeah.
And I'm like, wow, I didn't expect that response, but I was kind of hoping to say something else.
I mean, to be honest, even there's a lot of hate from Asians to other Asians too. It's not something that a lot of people talk about. Even now, nobody talks about it. Sorry, I'm not smiling because it's funny. It's not funny. I'm just like nervous to talk about it. But I don't think I've ever heard anyone talk about it. And I've never spoken about it until like just now. But I noticed that like there's even hate in Indonesia against Chinese people as well. Sometimes, do you realize in Asian countries, I don't know about all Asian countries, but in Indonesia especially, we're very diverse in culture. We have like Arabic Asians like living in like Arabic Indonesians, we have Chinese Indonesians, we have Singaporean Indonesians, Vietnamese Indonesians, we have so many like Indian Indonesians, like we have so many cultures mixed into one, especially in Jakarta, which is like the melting pot of Indonesia, I guess, because it's the capital. But even
Don't you
then,
mean
we're
Jakarta?
also, didn't I say Jakarta?
You said the melting pot of Indonesia.
Yeah, the melting pot of Indonesia is Jakarta.
No, you just
Didn't I
said the
say that?
melting pot of Indonesia. Or I
Maybe
didn't
I
hear
got,
it. Okay, yeah.
yeah, okay. Anyways, you'll see when you edit it. So Yeah, Jakarta is kind of like the melting pot of Indonesia, right? So living here, we get to see all types of cultures, and usually we don't like come across people who are Asians or like point it out necessarily anymore. But then I feel like growing up, there was a lot of it, and it's like kind of engraved in our society. You know what I mean? Like even though we're Asians and we tend to have darker skin, for example, there are so many whitening products that they throw at us, you know? They say,
Honestly,
oh, you
the
should have white products.
whitening products is just because like it's a beauty standard, and like um the reason behind this is because apparently if you're like whiter, you're considered rich because like you
You
have
stay
like a
indoors.
roof. Yeah, you can stay indoors and you have a roof over your head and stuff like that. So that means you're rich and stuff. But yeah, but if I'm being honest, like you said, like there's racism from like local Indonesians to like
Mm.
Chinese Indonesians, Arabic Indonesians. But I do sort of think it's also like vice versa. There's racism
Oh yeah, definitely.
from like yeah, the Chinese Indonesians, like other and in the other Indonesians to the local
Yeah.
Indonesians. So yeah,
Mm.
it's also
I mean,
because it's especially I can see it especially when some like when a Chinese Indonesian marries a local Indonesian. So like
mhm.
especially like um they're like, are you sure you're not making a mistake? Before they're married, like, are you sure you're not making a mistake? Like, are you sure you want to marry this person? He's not like Chinese Indonesian, he's local. Like, are you sure? And then like
Yeah.
it's I don't know,
I mean,
it's like
it kind of makes sense if you look back, like all forms of racism. No, obviously it doesn't make sense, but I mean, like, I know where it comes from because, you know, when you study history and what happens in the past, there's a lot of war. And war is the reason why we have all these like hate against each other today. It's all because of war, which is like ironic because they like a lot of people start war to get peace, but that's literally not
the
what we
opposite.
get from it. It's
Yeah.
the opposite. Nothing's going to work out if we keep having wars. And the thing that happened is isn't 1987?
Mm-hmm. No, 88, 98, sorry.
98. Oh, the thing that happened in 98, yeah. Oh, like that's why um a lot of Chinese Indonesians are born in Singapore now. So that is
Yeah.
something that happens again, they can flee to Singapore or something.
I was
Yeah,
about to be born in Singapore. Like me and
yeah,
my
I
sisters.
had a friend like that too. And he spoke to me about it, and it's really interesting to see. Like it's really interesting to see how like things that happen in history still have an effect on today, especially towards racism and like hate. But yeah, anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, I agree. But yeah, so let's dive more into the Asian hate crimes. So, I think this topic is very like recent because I didn't really hear about Asian hate crimes until like around last month.
Mm.
And so basically, I'm just gonna read this off of my resource and stuff. So, anti-Asian racism and violent attacks on Asian elderly have only increased in recent months. Okay, but it's not elderly anymore. They're targeting like younger people as well. And since COVID-19 became news in the United States, hate speech and violence against the AAPI community has run rampant. In February 2021, attacks, particularly on elderly Asian Americans, have spiked. Unfortunately, many of these incidents are not being reported and are invisible to major media outlets. We hope to change this by offering the following. No. Okay, yeah. So me and Kenny and I hope to change this this thing by sharing this topic on our podcast. And I will make sure to leave down resources below our YouTube channel video so that you guys can click on it. So the link I'll include articles and this card link, which is basically includes the newest updates, statistics, resources, or you can
I have,
donate.
yeah. We
Um,
have links for like updated news as well.
yeah,
So
and an allyship, reports on accidents, and mental health line if you're currently experiencing this. Social media, petitions, and basically more. So yeah.
yeah. This is so sad. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, apologies if we don't cover everything at the moment. You know, we still have a lot to learn about the world, I guess, and we're trying to like do what we can to raise awareness about it, but and like as well as have a conversation to organize our thoughts on the matter. But you know, this is not something that's really easy for a lot of people to talk about. But if you're not Asian, then you can always do your part to help and educate yourself and talk to your Asian friends about it, maybe. If you see something happening, then speak up about it. Don't
Mhm.
let it happen. I think that's one of the reasons why people get away with it.
Mhm.
So yeah. Um,
So wait, we
the
forgot to
first one,
define this, but according to the FBI, a hate crime is basically defined as an offense, a criminal offense motivated. I can't speak. So it's defined as a criminal offense motivated by bias against the victim's race, religion, disability, sexual orientation, ethnicity, gender, or gender identity. And then, so basically, since this is an Asian hate crime, it's obviously a bias towards a race, which is Asians. So,
yeah,
yep.
there's a lot of bad, like, there's a lot of really bad events, not events, but like shootings and
Mhm.
stuff, brutality that have been happening against Asian people, specifically in America. I'm not sure about the rest of the world, to be honest, because there's not a lot of like information and data on that. I have you personally, I mean, I know you've been like called stuff, like I've been called stuff, of course, especially in the UK, which is kind of sad because I'm also British, right? So it's not, I mean, obviously, like even whether or not you come from the country that you're being, um, like that you're in, if you're Asian and you're being hated on for being Asian, that sucks. It really
Yeah.
sucks because like, what did we do? Honestly, we
Mm.
didn't do anything. Like we just showed up, you know.
Yeah.
What do you?
So I've been called a lot
I
of
don't get
things.
why. I don't
Mm.
get the thing with the Americans, like not Americans in general, but like some parts of the system not liking immigrants because aren't they kind of immigrants too?
I
Didn't
know.
they steal land from the
Native
Native
Americans, right? Yeah. I don't know. That's why I watched this video of Chris Clemens. And you know how like the white people always ask, but where are you really from? Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
exactly.
so
Like what?
Chris Clemens, please, I love Chris Clemens. Chris Clemens did a video a while back about asking white people, where are you really from? Most of
Mm.
them, because he was in LA, he was like, where are you really from? Oh, I'm from Chicago. No, but where are you really from? And he's like, Chicago. And then he's like, really? Where are you really from? And then none of them, well, almost none of them got it. And then after that, he asked a person of color because he wanted to try it out because they were asking like, oh, what video are you doing? He's just saying, okay, come here. He's like, where are you from? And then they're like, oh, from like somewhere here in America. And then they're like, okay, where are you really from? And he's like, yeah, Afghanistan or something like that. And then he's just like, oh yeah, so basically, I'm not trying to offend you or anything, but like, um, this video is basically asking white people where they're really from. And he's just like,
Mm.
do you get asked that a lot? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, damn.
Yeah, like it even happens, sorry to say, but in my family sometimes. Like you know how we have so many cousins, right? And if we don't, like I don't live in the UK, but I have British cousins. because I'm from the UK. But when they ask me where I'm from, usually I just say, oh, I'm from West Tanfield. But that's not what they're looking for. They're asking like, oh, where's your mom from? Because we never see your mom. Where's your mom from? And I'm like, oh, she is from Indonesia, you know. And they're like, ah, that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, I am from the UK. I am also from Indonesia. Whatever my reply is, just accept it. Like, I know it's not a racist thing to ask where somebody is from, but at the same
I
time,
feel
it's
like
like
there's like some underlining.
there is some underlying, like, oh, she's exotic type thing. She's not supposed to be here type thing. You know what I mean?
It's kind of
Like,
just like, oh,
oh,
she's a foreigner.
yeah, exactly. Like, they're all like, especially my sister, because my sister in the UK, people think that she looks more Asian than I do, but here people think that I look more Asian. But anyways, they always ask her like, "Oh, where is she from? Like, where is this one from?" And I'm like,
Oh, that's disgusting.
it
Okay.
it
Yeah, so enough about our experiences because thank God we actually live in Indonesia, which is a majority Asian country, so we don't really get affected by this. But my sisters are in America right now because of like university and stuff, and my parents are actually really worried. So we made them buy pepper spray in case and make them go out. Like make them like bring it whenever they go out. And my
mm,
mom is now like saying like whenever you go out, make sure you have like someone who isn't Asian as well, or like a guy. So if you guys do get attacked, like he can help you as well. And I'm just like, "Ugh," you know,
that's good. That's good.
I mean, like, okay, it's kind of sad that you always have to have someone with you, but that's the reality.
So
So
many like of our friends are scared of going to university in America because of it.
really,
Yeah, like some of my closest friends are all like, "Oh, I don't want to go to America because I'm scared that what I'll be
I mean, that's kind of
abused."
me, but it wasn't about the racism. It was kind of about like at first it was like I'm scared to get that I'll get shot because there were so many like um shootings and school shootings, right? So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was I was just really scared. And then the school shootings and shootings just kind of died down. Now Asian hate crimes are here, so yikes.
yeah, exactly.
So
But I mean, at least none of us or anybody that we know have been like violently abused. Whereas a lot of people that are like a lot of instances that are covering that are being covered in the media, like the six, I think it was six Asian women in America who were shot by a white terrorist,
mm,
like by a white man.
okay, so
Uh,
basically the hate crime that I actually really want to get into is about the Indonesians who were attacked
oh yeah, I heard about that.
on the 21st of March. But the Indonesian what is it? What is it called? The Indonesian embassy. The Indonesian embassy just released a statement on the 23rd of March. So it says here, dear Indonesian community, on Sunday, 21st of March evening, two of our community youths were assaulted at the City Hall SEPTA station by a group of teens, about five of them. While the two youths were going about their business, they were pushed, slapped, and punched while waiting for a southbound train. There were others at the station, but no one was stepping up except an Indonesian man who recorded and took videos of the group of teens. According to the victims, the group of teens clearly were targeting them based on their race because they were the only two people they were the only they were the only two people the other group approached at the station. We recorded our conversation with the two victims. We were glad that the incident didn't escalate into something bigger, but the victims spoke up and were shaken and traumatized by this. They were now afraid to go out and take public transportation. We are working with the city of Philadelphia and the PPD in reporting cases. As we try to help these two community members, we hope that anyone else experiencing hate crimes and discrimination in our community to immediately call 911 or contact your community leader. We want justice for our community and for all of us to feel safe and protected. Speak up and stand up for our community. I mean, I watched there was a news on it from NBC Philadelphia, right? And I don't know. I don't know. This is kind of hard to speak about, but like, yeah,
Mm.
the video is basically the Indonesians weren't doing anything, and it's kind of sad. They were just literally like waiting in the public transportation, and like these two girls just approached them. And what hurts even more is that nobody helped them except for another Indonesian man. Like, are you not recognizing that they're being
Wait,
targeted?
where did this happen?
Philadelphia.
Oh no.
Yeah, so especially the fact that nobody helped. That's disturbing. But yeah, um, that's what happened. And well, if you're going through it and some or your friends going through it, please call 911 or the police for your country. And please, if you have some money to spare, please donate to the foundations and everything. Oh, did you hear? The grandma who
Hmm?
got attacked donated her money to somewhere else.
Yeah.
Where did she donate it to?
Oh, I
Forgot.
forgot. I
Yeah, me
forgot.
too.
That's a lot of money though that she put in,
Mm-hmm.
didn't she? It was like thousands.
Yeah. And yeah, basically we mentioned this earlier. Most of these hate crimes are occurring in America, right? But I have a story where a man was attacked in Vancouver. So this is just not like an American thing. This is happening
Mm.
almost
Yeah, yeah.
everywhere. That yeah, this is
Right.
happening everywhere where um Asians aren't the majority. So
Mm, mm.
basically, I'll read it out loud. Man left with stitches in head after daylight attack in downtown Vancouver. So at 11:30 a.m. on Sunday, Pearson Chan and Jocelyn Chang parked their cars a few meters away and asked for Luigi Restaurant near Main and Anson Streets. The pair were making their way to the entrance when a man walking a few steps behind them hit Chan in the back of the head with a glass object before immediately running away. It was maybe 10 seconds from the car to the restaurant, Chan told Daily Hive. I got out of the car, paid for the parking, and then boom, just felt an impact on the side of my head. Chen said he staggered for a bit. As a result, for the attack, he didn't lose any consciousness and noted things could have gone worse. I feel very fortunate that Chang wasn't hurt or that I didn't sustain a concussion or broken bones or anything like that, he said. A woman walking her dog on the other side of the street ran over to the pair and called 911. Chan was taken to St. Paul where he received several stitches before being sent home. Yeah, so I really don't understand that.
Yeah.
Because
There.
why would you just attack a random man going from his car to a restaurant? Like if you watched this girl, her YouTube channel name is Your Mom's Ashley. She talked about this and she literally talked about how she's kind of scared to go out to go grocery shopping. Like that's like it's kind of heartbreaking that she has to live like that. Why do you have to like be scared of literally going to grocery shop?
Mm. It's not just in America, I guess. That's also something, to prove it. I spoke to my Canadian teacher the other day and he said like he has a long list of instances that of hate crimes in Canada as well, like Asian hate crimes against Asians that are happening like right now or like within the past week. We talked about it in our class the other day. But also, do you know this Twitch streamer, Gianni Lee? She has like she always has vlog style live streams where she would like hold a camera and then she would just walk. And then there every so often like there would be people who actually hit her and then they do this all the time, and that's not just in America, but in Germany that happened in Germany and other places. So it really goes to show that it's literally not just like one country, it's many countries in which Asian people are not the majority people.
Yeah, but it sucks, man. Especially the one where two girls were killed and they were hit by a car and then they were dragged. Like,
You know what's really strange is that these, not these countries, but like the whole world has kind of been, or had kind of been really into the K-pop craze, and then they wanted to change their faces to look more Asian. And
mm.
then even the fox eye trend, for example, the fox eye trend, they did this in every picture, you know? And
Okay,
then
you know
they,
what? I'm gonna be honest. I did the fox eye train because I didn't know what it was. Because I was just like, oh yeah, that's
no,
cool.
but then
Like
the thing is,
having your eyes like look like that. And then like
but
I
the
was like, wait,
argument is,
why does this kind of look nice? Like, oh my god, I have a little thing there. And then like
but
I
girl,
and then
girl,
both
you're
you and
Asian.
I
Okay. Girl,
wait. And then both of us did it, right, as a joke, right? And then little did we know. It's because there's like some underlying lining
no,
racism.
but the whole reason why we cannot let non-Asians do it is because we've been mocked for it. I mean, my
Yeah.
eyes aren't even that small. I mean, they are kind of small, but they're not that small. But I get bullied for it. Like people in my family used to do this all the time, you know, which is terrible. Like it's, I would argue that if Asians do it, it's okay because it's like, you know, we have every right to use what we have been mocked for.
It's kind of just like how
And
the N word is
yeah,
such a
personal thing.
it's just kind of how like the N word is a slur, but then
Yeah,
obviously
and we're
black
not
people
supposed
can
to say it.
say it because
Yeah, because we're
because
not allowed to say it.
because that word was just used to like degrade them, but like now obviously they say it
Yeah,
because like it's like a thing, it's just like an exclusive thing between them, and like they kind of use it
it's
to like empower themselves, you know.
yeah. Like my mom has this thing where she says, you cannot hold a word, like for example, the F word. You cannot hold swear words too high because otherwise you're giving that word power. I mean, we don't have the right over the N word, for example, but they do. They have the right to um like get rid of that negativity. I don't know how to explain it. I'm sorry if this is like a crap way of explaining it, but to get rid of, like to diminish the power that that word holds over the whole Black community, you have to stop giving it power, but we have no right to do that as non-Black people, you
Mm-hmm.
know? It's the same with the fox eye trend, in my opinion. Like, I feel like if an Asian person does it, I wouldn't get offended. But if somebody who's non-Asian would do it, that just makes it feel like, okay, you're doing something because now you think it's like it looks good on you, even though you're the ones who have been mocking
Dude,
us for having some.
it's going to the extent that people are getting surgery for it now.
Yeah, it's it's a little weird. I mean, it's not just a little weird, it's mind-boggling. Like, why?
Yeah. Oh wait, I have some statistics. So 40% of US adults believe it has become more common for people to express racist views towards Asians since the pandemic began. So, and
Mm.
then more than 1,800 racist incidents against Asian Americans were reported between March and May of 2020, according to the United Nations report. Stop AAPI Hate Nation report from March 19, 2020 to February 28, 2021 has been a staggering 30,795 reports of anti-Asian hate incidents.
That's
Then,
so many. Let's do some concluding statements before you read out names.
so concluding statement is that both Kandi and I literally don't know why this is happening because literally we're not like Asians aren't the cause for COVID-19, and why are you blaming us for it? And it's just
We
heartbreaking to
don't.
see. And if you're currently in a non-majority Asian country, please stay safe. Please like get yourself some pepper spray, like bring it around, or like maybe a taser. Like stay safe at least. And
Mm.
if you're in a different country with your parents and your parents are in a non-majority Asian country, give them a call, check up on them, make sure they're fine.
Yeah.
And yeah, Kenny.
I don't have much to add to that, but I guess, yeah, we're just kind of pissed that this is happening. I mean, not just to Asians specifically, but I mean, particularly because we're Asians, but also to other people of color. So we just hope that
Yeah.
everyone be okay and that this will stop and we'll all be treated equally, like
But
regardless of our race.
what's
One day.
really annoying for me is that because so much is going on, I can't even keep up with like the amount of hate crimes going on right now, which is saying something. And yeah,
Mm.
and
I
again,
mean, this year alone, it's been crazy. It's literally only March.
hmm,
It's only March. There's so many. I mean, I know that that's no excuse, but I mean, the amount of hate crimes that have been reported, considering it's only the third month of the year, it's really sad.
yeah.
But
So I kind of want to apologize on the behalf of us that this podcast episode is kind of messy. It's not like your normal podcast episode. Well,
yeah,
our episodes are always messy, but I feel like this was extra messy because we're just so fed up with the hate crime. So
it's more like a ramble, which we
yeah,
apologize for. But yeah, I
it's
mean,
kind of like a
also because
rant.
a lot of people who like really like listening to our podcast don't really like listening to serious topics. So, but I think this is really important for us to talk about, especially because we're Asian. But yeah, that's pretty much all we wanted to say. But we're gonna close off by we're gonna have Kath. Kath, you want to do it?
Yeah,
Kath's gonna
so
read names of people who we should.
I don't have all the names, but these are the names of the victims of the Atlanta shooting. So Soon Chung Park, who was 74 years old, Soon Cha Kim, who was 69 years old, Young A Ye, who was 63 years old, Hyun Jung Grant, who was 51 years old, Xiao Te Tan, who was 49 years old, Delena Yan, who was 33 years old, Ta Yo Feng, who was 44 years old, Paul Andre and Michaels, who was 54 years old. Please um, say their names and share their stories. Thank you for listening to this podcast episode.